your boy bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, everybody? So, what does Bitcoin get ready to do? I get a feeling that we're getting ready for a big move. And before I just say randomly, hey, we go up, then I wanted to look at the chart with you and see why it looks like that. Maybe try to figure out, what's happening here. And perhaps we're seeing a little bit of symmetry in what happened before, what's about to happen now. How much are we going up? What does it look like? What's the big move at this point? And we're just going to draw some sticks. We're going to figure out some lines. We're going to do wild stuff. And then once we do, maybe you'll have a better understanding, or maybe I'll have a better understanding, and we can figure out exactly what is going on. So if you like this type of content, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe button, and the bell to be notified, because I get the sense and I get the feeling that we're in for something probably kind of spectacular from Bitcoin coming real soon. So let's start off with what is happening on the chart right now. So if we just go with the impulse move here, this impulse move took us all the way up into this sort of range right here. We didn't break a new high, but we did get into this sort of range, if you will. And what we're doing at this point is we're kind of printing this bullish flag, which in essence means that we're probably due for another big move towards the upside. Now, same thing happened a little bit further back over into this region right here. We're looking at actually, and I know it doesn't look like the same pattern right here, but that's because we're up higher now. If I were to clear out and let's clear that out and let's move into a different sort of range here and start looking at it from the same context as if this was the upward momentum and we're just waiting for this kind of move to end. Then when we're looking at this, we're kind of seeing the same thing. And the one key that we're going to focus on right there is going to be that 100 MA. We touched that 100 moving average, and then we started to get a little bit of sideways moment, but we got this big pop right here, and then it took off. Okay, that's what ended up happening. So now let's zoom back out. We're going to simplify that just a little bit there. Now, in case you're not paying attention here, the same thing is happening, albeit slightly different, but this is really looking like the same thing playing out. I'm going to give you a time frame and everything going forward, but we had this kind of move here, which correlates right here. We've got this kind of secondary move here, and this move, this kind of, it all kind of breaks down. And then we've got this move coming down into the 100 MA, a little side action, and then all of a sudden it takes off, right? What we're having right now, same thing. We're having this move down, which correlates right here. Then we've had a little bit of a move right back up, which correlates right here. And now we've probably got a dump coming. That dump coming probably down to 59,000. Then from there, we get a nice little correction back into this range, move over here, and then I think we start to see this epic big move. So the question now would be, if that is correct, and we're going to remove all that, what is that next? What's the next time frame? What's it look like? Well, let's just take this from here to here, going how long it took right here, about 64 days. You can see right there, we had 64 days in this window. The percentage of variance was about 20%. So if you come up here and do the same thing and go from the top here to the bottom, you can see the correlation here is about 18%. We haven't hit that 21% yet, but we did we're still doing the same percentage wise. So the question then becomes, well, how long are we going to be in this range? Well, if we go from here, which is kind of where we ended, and then here, which is kind of where it took off, it's about 65 days. So if we take this and now we move that into this sort of range right here, saying that this probably represents about the spot. So what it looks like to me is we've got a few more days. It will be overdue. And by the way, this is not exact science, so we're guessing at this point. So this is probably leveling off just a little bit. It's still coming up. So over the next couple days, this is probably a move into this range right here, 60,000, 59,000. That puts us right in line with the last impulse move, which was over here. And then from there, what do we hit? What do we do? We got this move all the way up from 47 to 74. So what would that look like if we got this sort of the same sort of spike here, doing that? Then we're looking at close to $100,000 move on Bitcoin. So taking it, let's back up just a little bit so we can get maybe a little more accurate read on, let's just say the 100 MA to the top. Now let's assume that we're going to hit that 100 MA over here. And then what does that look like? Well, that looks like 94,495. 94,495 over here. Does that mean that that's where we're going? Well, of course not. I mean, history repeats, or history rhymes. It doesn't exactly repeat itself. So if you are looking for a bullish indicator that says that we are scheduled for another big move, there you have it right here. This tells us that we are in the next cut, if you will, for a big move. So that represents about where we are. Again, there should be a clearing out to the downside, coming back down to around 60,000 before that big move. But it should be obvious at this point that we're doing the same things that would have created that big move before. So if you like this content, by the way, make sure that you hit the like button on the way in. We're not going to be on here for very long. I'm just going to show you what I'm seeing on this chart. This is on the daily chart. Now, let's take it one step further because it's important to understand the symmetry of these sentiments before we get into the actual number here, which when you see it, you're going to be like, oh shit, like this is big. So we had this play out right over here. Now this one, of course, looks like Batman, but we had the same thing playing out. Then what did we get? We got this move down. We got moved down all the way to about 35 on the RSI, and then we got that reversal. Now, when you look at this reversal, you're seeing this reversal kind of playing out, maybe, just maybe, the same way this one is. I could be wrong about this coming down to the 100 MA. I don't think that I am, but if you just grant that, they're, again, not going to be perfect, but you can see the same thing forming. We got a big move here. We got a big move here. This is when we got a big move on this. This is when we got another big impulse move. Then we had a big impulse coming in right there. So the important part is what happens when we get a low RSI. Well, when we get a low RSI, that tends to mean we get a spike in price. What happened over here? We got a low RSI, not as far down as this one, which is why I think we might have one more test. But if that's the case, then on that day when we got that really low RSI, that's when we were down here at that 59,000 level. That's when this happened. And then after that, boom, we took off again. And how far up did we go? Well, we went up to around 68,000 over a couple days. So from 59 to 68 is a pretty big impulse move. Now, that could correlate right here. All of this right here could be part of that. So again, it's symmetry in how it's sort of playing out. So the RSI most likely comes down a little bit more. We get into this range, and then boom, we start getting this big takeoff, and we get back up into this sort of range. And then that's it's not showing up in notification, Duke One, because I didn't do anything to notify anybody on this. I just started going live. It was an impulse. This was kind of impulsive for me because I was seeing this chart. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking like, holy shit, it really looks like we're in another pennant right now, looking like we're about to explode. and go to another big high because it's matching up. It's matching up what we saw here to here. Then we get the sideways action. Same thing. It just seems like the same pattern continues to repeat itself. And if I zoom out a little bit further, even though this is going to look more volatile, these are still 20% moves that we were getting. So we're on our way up. It looks like we are dramatically on our way up. But I think we're headed higher. Now, you might notice that Ben's up 3% on the day. Pepe's up on 3% on the day. Myro's up 2%. So we're getting a little bit of meme coin action. However, when you come over to something like Trump's up 6% on the day, but it's, was up a lot higher earlier. Brett is up 9%. There's, little meme coins popping just a tad. However, while that's happening, Solana is doing nothing at this point, right? But here's the thing. What was going on with Solana before? We had this little move right here, and then we created that little top, and then we exploded out of it. And now what are we doing? We're back here testing the top again. And if I could point out, we're sitting here right at the 100 MA, meaning that the move is coming, or it should mean that the move is coming. What does Ethereum look like? Ethereum, same thing, only a stronger move. Again, I told you guys that we were in this sort of, again, a pennant pattern, and we were coming in, and that there's probably an explosion coming. Well, and this was the halving date, by the way, which we can now remove that because we're post halving, and I'm not going to need that for the moment. But we came all the way down into this, and then boom, now we're taking off. The next spot right here for Ethereum is that 50 MA. 50 MA currently sitting at 34.13. So could be that we're going to get another big spike up by about 100 points to test that one. 16 billion is what we're up on the day. We're midday through. It's a Sunday. There's not a whole lot of activity, but everything seems to be primed for a great move. Okay. What happened the last time we got this? Well, if you come look at this right here, this is where we had it. Boom, took off. Then you come see it right here again. Didn't exactly kiss the 100, but we got very, very close. And then boom, took off. So the same thing is happening right here. And then this is, again, the spot where it looks like the market is ready to take off. And I hope, guys, that this is making perfect sense to you when you're seeing it on this chart. We're just doing it on the daily just to show you, what this looks like. The one thing that I'm going to say right now is that it looks like the Ethereum RSI getting a little bit hot at the moment. It's neutral, but it's slightly above 50. So it's a little bit into that, slowly sort of overbought territory. And Bitcoin, we don't really have to go past Bitcoin or Ethereum to really get an idea of what it is that's going on. It's repeating itself right now. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what does this mean long term? What it means long term is instead of, and each time you've seen this, what you've seen is a move, an impulse move, money come into the market, go into Bitcoin, and then after it goes in, we get either a dump or we get a correction of some sort. Okay. Now, if we take that into consideration and go back into this looking for corrections, there's no corrections happening. There's no corrections happening. Now, if you look at it, and if you grant maybe here from the impulse move, here was the original impulse move kind of right here. And you can see like there's no retesting, or, if you grant maybe right here, we got a retest at the 0.50. Now, that means that you come over here and you look at it, we got a 618 move, and we got that twice. So it does appear that the markets are correcting slightly on some of these impulse moves, but they're still correcting in very positive ways to let you know that there are a lot of buyers still stepping in. Now, you might be looking at this and you might be saying, yeah, but it could easily dump. Well, structurally, we haven't really seen a reason for a dump since we got a bear flag, or a bearish divergence, which showed up, by the way, right We got that right here. So we got that bearish divergence, right? Well, what did that mean? We got this move down here. That was it. And then boom, we were off to the races again, right? Well, we're not looking at the same structure and we're not seeing a big bearish divergence. We're seeing the market respecting what's happening in it right now. So that usually is a good sign. So now let's go look at something that should tell you, if you don't understand it already, then this should tell you that there's something massive getting ready to happen. Now, what this is this is 1 year, all right? And for the record, let's go back here and let's look 1 year ago. Um, so here we are with the total market cap. Here is the crypto market, all right? Now, the crypto market on April 28th, we're on April 28th. So April 28th, the crypto market cap had a high of 1.182 trillion market cap. That's right up here, 1.182. Today, 1 year later, the market cap is 2.314 is the high market cap. So we've doubled the market cap. Okay. Now, when you double the market cap, what does that generally mean? Well, that means that most of the money that's sitting on the sideline should be into cryptos. It should be into different tokens. It should be sitting there. It should be part of the pump, right? No, 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 my friends. It is not, because look at this right here. This is the USDT market cap. 1 year ago, when you looked at it, it was sitting here at 81 million or 81 billion. 81 billion, just consider for a second here, 81 billion. Now we've doubled our market cap, and this is sideline money, right? This is just what sits on the sideline waiting for people to ape into a coin, if you will. Today, 110 billion market cap. So we've added $30 billion into the market cap of Tether, which is 1 for 1, by the way. When you look at, when I look at liquidity on something, to give you just sort of an example here, the 1-to-1 ratio on Tether is what matters. But let's just take Bencoin, right? Bencoin has a great liquidity to market cap ratio, but Ben has a 5 million market cap and 1.1 million in liquidity, if you look at it right here. Okay, so there's $1.1 million that you could cash out today, and there's 5.3 million in the market cap, basically. So take that over here to Tether. Tether doesn't do that. So there is $110 billion waiting inside Tether right now to ape into the market. This is capital sitting on the sidelines that's waiting for the big move, whatever the big move is, right? If we were to just consider here Ethereum, and we were, oh, you know what? We should do wrapped ETH. Wrapped ETH. So if we were looking at Ethereum right here, I mean, you can kind of see here that Ethereum is trading at 33.12 right now, market cap 158 million. This is not all of the liquidity, by the way. However, market cap 159 million, liquidity 12.32. All of the money is not there, but all the money is there on Tether. I hope I've explained that the right way, and I hope everybody understands what I'm saying in this context. So there is a lot of money sitting on the sideline. Now, flashback to what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a little spike today. Not huge, but it had a little spike today. It's in the positive for the day. It's up 16 billion. The market cap is up 16 billion. Money went into Ethereum. Money went into Pepe. Money went into Ben. Looks like a lot of money kind of went into Ethereum. Ethereum had a good run on a Sunday or a weekend through the afternoon. So based on all of that, and based on where some of these things are sitting, then I mean, Trump now taking off again. It's up 7%. Was up just a little bit before. Stride, if you guys remember Stride, we talked about that one just a couple days ago. Stride just blew up. It's up 25% in the last hour. I want to say, because it's not been up. Going over here and looking at it, yeah, in the last 2 hours, Stride, which is a walking app, up 25%. So maybe maybe they're sponsored with Nike or something like that. Anyway, point is, this looks like we're about to explode. Now, are we going to right away? I don't know. There's, it's complicated. We're about 3 hours into this market doing, something. We're about 3 hours into the new business day for China. We're gonna see how China wakes up, what China does when they get up. But again, let's zoom back in one more time structurally. Look at Bitcoin for the final time right here. This is what it is right now. We're at the end of the cycle so far. There's we've been doing this about 60-ish days. If you grant over here that we've been doing it for maybe this period of time, and that this represents the spike that we got, and that we've actually been capped out since about right here, then we're at the end of this move. So again, the most likely play out is this continues this way. We get a move, a flash crash, if you will, down into the 60,000 range, which I guess I should have looked at the liquidity first. If you look at the liquidity heat map, we'll see what it looks like at 60,000. It doesn't look real strong at 60,000 on the short term. On the longer term, 60,000 looks kind of weak, so we may not even get a rip down into that range. Yeah, it looks kind of barren around 60,000. So I would say that if we're going to get anything, we're going to bump at 61,317. Now, taking that into consideration, 63,137 would put us out here. Okay, so look, I'm guessing May 11. May 11. It looks like there would be a spike into liquidity, or at least we'd be looking at this line here. We would say same thing as we did with Ethereum before, where it didn't really bounce off of it, but it got very, very close to it. So anytime between now and May 11, at a guess, I would say that that's the moment where Bitcoin is probably just going to start ripping and sending. It just, this thing looks like it's a powder keg waiting to explode, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what do you guys think? I mean, I get the sense here that Bitcoin is ready, or just about ready to level up. So, happy Sunday to Jay Locke, Duke Wan. Please, just wondering what you think about I don't know what that is. I'll check it out over the next day or two, and we'll see what it looks like. But for the purpose of Bitcoin, I get a sense here that we're probably going to start sending pretty soon. Solana, by the way, so let's take a quick conversation about Solana. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds on it, because this is about Bitcoin and about the market continuing to just absolutely rip, right? So Solana tested the 100, tested the 100 again. It's very weak right now. We need to get above the 50 in order to get into a bullish sentiment. In order to get into the 50, it's going to take a move up above 168, 170 at this point. Now, if it ranges out a little bit sideways, well, then this will come down just a little bit. So maybe 160 ends up being the number. But as you see at this moment, Solana, despite the fact that the market, it's kind of fixed itself. It's sort of fixed itself with congestion and the basic problems that have been there or been representative in Solana for the last little while. We've got the RSI very low right now, RSI at 40-ish right now, but it's switching bearish at this moment. This could be the bounce that we're looking for to make it start to move in a decent way. I don't know for sure, but it really kind of feels like Solana is ready to explode one more time. So I would be looking for a move. Dog with hat, if you've been looking at this kind of on this range right here. So Dog with hat, probably ready for a takeoff. Myro, bouncing off of the previous support line right here. So probably ready for a takeoff on a, let's call it new high in that 23, 24 range right there. So it looks like structurally, Solana is telling us the same thing, that all of these tokens are kind of ready for a move. Bitcoin's going to have to eat, Ethereum's going to have to eat, and then the altcoins are going to have to start ripping, right? So we're seeing little pieces that give us inspiration. Here we've got Zignali, which just took off. And guys, I told you this one a couple months ago, so I hope, let's get rid of some of that drawing over there. But I told you guys that I thought it was going to start ripping, and it ended up taking off. This was one of my calls that I made over here, like the beginning of the year. So I thought that it was going to have a moment. Anyway, Stride up 27% now, continuing to send. Looks like optimism. And by the way, I might add, if you're wondering, what's the next big thing, DPIN probably. By the way, Caspa is roaring right now, up 9%. So you're starting to see some breakouts on some of these altcoins, lower tier altcoins. You might be wondering though, what is it that's going to be the next big narrative? And I'm not sure, except DPIN and RWA and maybe GameFi. But I would be watching for Cosmos, the Cosmos ecosystem, thus Atom token right here, because the Atom is the Cosmos ecosystem. It's down a little bit right now, but every new project that you're starting to see that's coming out is building using the Cosmos SDK, because it's better for, I guess it's better, easier to use, more robust than what's being used through Ethereum. So I would be looking at Cosmos and the Atom token to probably have just a really, really big run at some point pretty soon. So anyway, that's my time, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know that I get the sense here that Bitcoin is ready for an absolute, just a move. When that will happen, I don't exactly know. I'm looking at it, I'm watching it, I'm waiting to see some kind of indication. Now, I can tell you this, it's not going to happen on Saturday. It's not going to happen early Sunday. If there is an explosion in the next 3 hours, then I would think that Bitcoin probably wants to test 72,000 one more time. I would think that, we're probably looking at one of those moves where we start to go back up into 73,700, at least get into, what is this range right here? 70,000. So, I would think that there's a test coming of 70,000. Again, all the money's sitting on the sidelines right now, but it's in USDT. It's sitting over there waiting. And if you're one of those people who's like, well, what about all the other ones? Well, and by the way, they did get moved around. So there's, you certainly can you can certainly be asking the question. However, let's take one last thing. I know I'm boring your head off at this point, maybe, but check this out. So right here, this is USDC. And remember, USDC 1 year ago, there was $30 billion sitting in USDC. Well, there's $34 billion sitting right now, as you can see over here. So even though a lot of people moved into USDT after that depegging last year when all that shit happened, and we had this downward momentum, $23 billion. Well, guess what? Here we are again at $34 billion. So if you just grant that the money's not just being moved from one to the other, it's coming back into the market. And this is just another example. If you were to just kind of go flipping through stablecoins, you probably are going to find the same thing sort of up and down the line. I don't know by market cap what the next stablecoin is, as a matter of fact. DAI. So the next one's going to be DAI. But if we look at DAI, it might be that we're seeing the same thing. We got to look at over a year. But yeah, DAI was at 4.9 and now it's at 5.4. So that's not huge, but it's still more. So there's no place where the money is just coming from these stable coins. There's no circumstance in which, let me see if I can find stable coins. Here we go. We got FDUS with a 3.8 billion, and then we've got USDD, True USD. Yeah, so none of these would tell me that we're looking at any kind of anything other than up only for Bitcoin coming very, very soon. So now it's just a question of, what is the day that it happens? What is the moment that it happens? And is there a little bit of a dip before then? That's the general question. And I do think that there would be a dip. I do think that we would, again, test 61,000, maybe 60. It looks like 59 today, but I don't think that we're, I don't think there's liquidity there. 61,376 seems to be where the biggest pool of liquidity is, just kind of sitting. So if we sweep down into that range, don't be alarmed. Make sure you set a long from that position. I would look. I mean, if you set one at 62, ain't nobody gonna be mad at you. By the way, if you were setting a long at that position, I would certainly use lower leverage. I would not use a high leverage, a high risk sort of thing right there, because you never know who's gonna dump at that point. But generally speaking, Bitcoin is getting ready for another big move. So anyway, that's my time. Richard Caldwell coming in at the end. Brian Bootyhead coming in at the end. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. But I would be paying attention to these numbers. And it doesn't matter whether it's Solana. It doesn't matter whether it's Ethereum. It doesn't matter which one it is, other than XRP. XRP is in its own sort of category at this point. But it doesn't matter where you look right now. It looks like crypto is ready for another level up. The next leg looks like it's really loading, and that we're getting towards the end of the loading zone, if you will. And remember, I told you that it was 87 days in the last bull run for Bitcoin to go up 20% from the halving. It was 143 days for the previous one to go up 20% after the halving. But a lot of what we've seen happen right now is different, and it's different because of the ETFs. The ETFs have changed the dynamic of crypto in a fundamental way, or at least it's changed the way Bitcoin trades in a fundamental way. So as long as those are still robust and those are still trading pretty good, then we're going to continue sending. So I got a sense and I got a feeling that the next big leg is loading right now. So if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, the bell to be notified of future content. And let's pay some bills, and then we'll see you guys in the morning for Breakfast with Bleeves. Guys, the bull run is almost here. The halving is almost here. The Hong Kong Ethereum ETF is almost here. You like ERC-20. We all like ERC-20. And the best way for you to accumulate more ERC-20 tokens or more Bitcoin, it's Cryptonomy.finance. If you've been here before, you know that I've been talking about a lot of these tokens. There's over 400 that you can choose from. They offer an exchange with the best rates, without commissions, and support from a highly qualified support and trading team 24/7. And this is available to every participant. Of course, you get immediate support if you are a VIP. And you can deposit UST into your Cryptonomy account, and then you can start to buy the desired assets that you want to use over here and exchange them as needed. Over 400 of them. And there's going to be a lot of updates coming out over the next couple days, weeks, and months. So guys, if you are looking to advance your crypto portfolio, you need more tokens. Why not let the tokens that you currently have work for you? Go to Cryptonomy.finance, sign up today, and let it grow.